Hey everybody, Rodham here for another episode of Stellaris, where I am picking a fight with everybody as a corporation. So last episode, we were really just ramping up for the impending war that we're going to have, and I better get ready for that. I suspect it's not going to be super easy. First, I'm going to fix the unemployment issue I have on Sabtrack by adding some basic district jobs. And let's do a quick assessment. So currently I have no piracy, which is good. I don't need jobs here. I might need housing soon. I could probably add some housing next month. Here we are good for a while. Here we need some more jobs soon. All right, so I think the housing is the most urgent. Let's add that. And we are out of food. As a stopgap measure, I will buy a little bit, but obviously trying to get people to start living on
upscaling complete.
The rural planet here. Let's actually reassign some workers. Farmers. Oh no, we already have all the farmers assigned. We just need another district. Breadbasket world. Alright, so before I digress, we do in fact have a 1.2k fleet. And that might be enough to bring one of our neighbors to their heels. So I have to find one that would be good to go to war with. Now I did want to grab Seb from them. So I'm going to make a claim and then stage my army, my navy rather, not my army, to get ready for that. All the while, some new people to talk to, whom I dismissed conversation with pretty quickly. I am going to buy up some minerals so I can recruit a bit of an army to invade. So if you haven't played this before, basically your ships will duke it out more or less automatically, and then your armies duke it out more or less automatically. There's actually not a whole lot for you to do in that regard. And I just need to make sure that I have the better army and navy so that I can beat them and have them give up. So what I'm doing here is I'm having all of my armies merge with one another. It would be wise to hire a general as well. Let's see. A general that does more damage. That works for me. Now the stations that they have here, let's take a look at my own stations. That would be a good idea. So my own stations, my shipyard has about 500 fleet strength, but my bastions have almost 1k. So if they have bastion stations, maybe they'd have one at the Singularity.
Upscaling complete.
It's going to be a little bit harder to defeat that. Now I don't need to defeat every single spot. You know, I can carefully pick my fights, but that's something to keep in mind. All right, let's declare war. Let's start off by a conquer.
Commencing new business venture.
Conquer allows us to grab
research actualized
territory that we have claims on, and obviously I already have a claim. Housing district +1. I am a little light on housing, but I think iron thrusters would be the better choice, to be honest. We are officially at war. We only share one lane. They only can get to me through Seb. I can only get to them through Seb. This changes later on in the game when you have jump drives, but alas, I do not have jump drives yet. Way too soon for that. Way too soon. So right now I'm just capturing territories, which advances my war goal. And the way this works is there is war exhaustion, and then like the you know, what you've caused in terms of, how did I describe this? What you've caused in terms of damages and whatnot. So if you capture planets, invade planets, destroy fleets, you increase your war score. War score versus war exhaustion. So if you can do enough damage to them to get your war score high enough that they accept surrender, you win the war. And if you get up to 100% war exhaustion, meaning there is sort of a timer about these wars, eventually what happens if the war drones on too long, it will force you into some sort of peace agreement. Sometimes that peace agreement might be white peace, meaning nothing changes, it's like the war never started. And sometimes the peace agreement is one-sided.
Competitors engaged.
So I was trying to disengage to repair my fleets, but they wanted to come fight. So they're going to get a fight then. And this is basically what most fleet battles look like. I lost one ship, they lost many more than one. And then there is also debris that I can research. So if I research this debris, I advance my blue lasers research. Subtract. Subtract doesn't actually make any research, so the assistant there that's assisting research can be reallocated. And if I'm correct, Dram and Vrinn are the only ones that make research. Now, a lot of the times, the anomalies and whatnot that I am researching and dismissing really quickly, I'm dismissing really quickly and not reading them because I've seen them before. I'm very, very, very familiar with them. But that's not to say that you shouldn't read it if it's your first time through.
Complete.
So I'm going to have my army follow my navy around. Army ships are really, really delicate. They literally can't defend themselves. So you have to make sure that they're in safe territory or escorted. Now that we added another agricultural district, we are in the green, or in the black, I should say, for food, which is good. And then
research actualized.
We have a new tradition. All right, let's go with some additional housing. We have better hyperdrives. I'm going to get research complexes. And for societal, I will get a Fleet Academy and Naval Logistics Office are really, really good. Also, a new faction just founded. They are the aggressive faction, and I'm satisfying them right now. I think I'm going to allow them to exist, but not actually embrace them yet. I'm not sure if I want to become more militaristic or not. Probably, given the way I play, but I'm not ready to pull the trigger on that quite yet. Oddly enough, we have a lot of jobs, but not a lot of clerks. So clerks, basically what clerks do is they raise the amenities.
Station under assault.
I have a station under assault. Oh yeah, they're trying to recapture Dur. That's fine. I am repairing my ships.
Potential market survey completed.
There, they're repaired. And now I can go attack them again. Unfortunately, my scientist that was at Dur getting the debris research got kicked out. He is set to be evasive, so if anything threatens him, he bails quickly. I'm also going to send my construction ship down to Banadar to build on Seb once I capture it, because I'm going to win this war. I just know it. I'm going to set my fleet stance to aggressive, meaning I purposefully engage anything in the system I'm in that is enemy, and my orbital bombardment stance to indiscriminate, which means I bomb the enemy's planet extra hard. The only reason you would want to lower this is, well, there's a few good reasons. One is if you're trying to make friends with people, sometimes they will like you or dislike you based upon your bombardment policy. So if you can see here, -10 towards my bombardment policy, because they are pacifists, they don't like that I indiscriminately bomb. Think of it this way. The selective bombing is trying to bomb military installations. The indiscriminate bombing is just bombing for the sake of bombing, where you're not aiming, you know, civilians and the like. That's essentially the difference. So if I look at the war exhaustion, this green bar, as it moves towards... I am currently occupying... They're becoming more exhausted because I'm occupying some of their systems, basically, is the long and short of it. I just discovered, wherever my surveyor is, a primitive... Where are you? Primitive society, yep, at Zempek. Alright, so another naval battle where they get crushed by me. And they go home as a result. Unfortunately, every time I have this naval battle, my ships need a little bit of repair. But as you can see, because of space battles, I have gained some additional war score. Which is good. That's what we want. Looking at my ships. I think I'm going to attempt to repair them again before I go to Isius and capture Isius. But Seb, I can definitely research the debris now. And speed up time a little bit. I'm no longer breaking even on my food. Was it civilian industries? I'm going to disable that. I don't need it running. I don't need to pay the upkeep. I don't need the extra jobs at the moment.
Combat detritus reprocessed.
And when you research debris, depending on the size and the amount of debris that you've destroyed, you'll have a varying amount of research. So I gained a little bit of my blue laser research and some physics and whatever else. Engineering, probably. There's generally not societal research to be gained when you destroy a fleet. Alright, so I just met these guys, and these guys have an L gate, which becomes important later on. That's part of an additional DLC. Alright, we will get that research buoy researched ASAP. Alright, I think my fleet needs to go and deal with Isius and make some progress.
Research
I've been afraid to engage my entire fleet, but I really ought to now. As for my everyone else, let's get energy credits from tech. Well, that's kind of an expensive one. I'll do blue laser.
Evading competitive fleet.
Ooh, they're pushing up on Seb. Alright, so I get to intercept them as they're attacking my outposts. Or they will flee rapidly. That's fine. Let's go finish off the research project. Check in on our planet. So, obviously, we still need more jobs here. Lucky for me, I can always build more districts. Here, we are good. Good, good. Everything is in order. One thing I want to mention is population growth is key here. So I'm going to do a healthcare campaign with my extra money. The faster you grow your population, the stronger you get. It is crazy unbalanced in this current version of Stellaris. On the other hand, certain government types handle population better than others. So, for instance, yeah, we'll get that. For instance, if you have...
Combat detritus reprocessed for a cleaner galaxy.
Oop, my scientist died. I don't really care who replaces him.
Potential
So for
market
instance,
survey completed.
for my, as I was talking about population growth, okay, so they gave up. Basically, I destroyed enough of their fleets that they decided to give me Seb, which is exactly what I was after. So let's go and research the debris that's there, which will give me more blue laser research. And then we're going to build on Seb. And then after we build on Seb, we're going to send this
Market outlier
ship over to
identified.
Pollux. Because we are researching how to use exotic gases, how to tap that. So what I was going to say about population growth is if your empire doesn't allow for slavery and you have an explosion of population growth, you might get an explosion of unemployment. Yes, you can forcibly resettle people to emptier planets, but if you don't keep your population growth in check, in some way, there's various ways to do it, you can end up in a scenario where you have way too many people, way too few housing. This is sort of later game, but I mean for later game. Way too few housing, and then end up with a horrible influx of crime. That's no good. Very no good. So yes, population growth is awesome early on, but really late game, it can be a dangerous thing if you've, let's say, designed an entire civ to grow fast. You need space to grow into.
Situation log
Why not try to
revised.
stop the drill? We need a construction ship for that. I will crank one out just because. So now our fleet is fully repaired. We've gained Seb, which is what we wanted. Wouldn't be a terrible, terrible thing to gain Gnog either, to pick another fight. So let's check out. They have an inferior fleet. I'm going to go and pick that fight because I'm a pugnacious guy. Now, as long as my naval capacity and my fleet size is restricted in the way it is, I can go over it and pay extra money, obviously, but I'm trying to keep it within like an economical reasonable size, I guess. What I can do is start to put anchorage stations
Potential market survey completed.
on places that I think I can afford it.
Upscaling complete.
So let's do some quick math. The gun battery here gives me trade protection range to protect trade out. Yeah, I'm going to need the gun battery there. What I really need to do is I really need to research star holds to make my current star bases a little bit larger. That will help a lot, immensely. All right, so I created this new construction ship to try to do that mission back there. And for whatever reason, my scientist decided to ignore that emergency buoy. Let's go ahead and do that now. We have tapped all the minerals at Seb, and the research, and the trade value. So if you look at the trade value,
complete.
we are gaining some additional trade from Seb, which is great. And we're going to head over to Pollux, because soon we're going to finish the research for gas well extraction. Granted, it will take 3 years, but we'll have a... I guess what I'll do is I'll put this construction ship there and this one here. Save me some time. Alright, so now we're poised to attack these guys. They have a defense agreement with Malwegal. So actually, you know what I think I'm going to do is return back to base. I'm not ready to take both of them on at once.
Complete.
I sort of forgot
Special
about their little
project
defensive
actualized.
agreements.
Situation log
All
revised.
right, so we agreed to try to rescue some people here. My situation log for the ransomeers. There is a navy there that I need to defeat. So I'll send my navy over to do a little something about that. A new checkup on my planets. We're doing okay. I think I'm going to replace one of the mining districts with an agricultural district here. Making sure that we have enough food. And the last tradition in the prosperity tree, which is more clerk jobs for city districts. And then that unlocks an ascension perk, which I'm probably going to go with one vision, because at the moment, I don't have enough commercial packs to warrant going universal transactions. So one vision gives me monthly unity and governing ethics attraction. Governing ethics attraction prevents people from diverging from my base ethics. I am tempted to adopt militarism. I think I'm likely to become more militaristic as time goes on.
Research actualized.
And our chairman just died of natural causes, not assassination or anything like that. Okay, research station output. Let's increase that. We have a bunch of research stations, so I think that might help.
Research actualized.
Curious if my
Upscaling
construction
complete.
ship gets there in time. I don't think he will. In fact, I'm pretty sure he won't. And my new chancellor is a scientist, which means that this scientist here has no one chairing there. And we finally researched. Let's get more pop growth speed. I was talking about how pop growth is so important. Might as well double down on that statement and actually get some pop growth.
Market outlier identified.
Alright, so this ship is bound to be there in how long? 500 days, and this is gonna disappear in 400 days. Yeah, we're just not gonna get there in time. I'm just gonna delete this ship. We weren't gonna make it.
Situation log revised. Special project actualized. A system has been surveyed.
So we're upgrading this from administration to a capital, which is awesome. That also means that we could reform our... ooh, we haven't researched that yet. I thought we had planetary capital.
Revised.
Ooh, so the birth of the galactic market. This is cool. Basically, I can put myself up to become the hub of the galactic market. And my competitiveness rating for this is strong. So I'll go ahead and do that for potentially large benefit. Man, I really need star holds. I have to make sure I get that next chance I get. Had a governor die. Oh, it's a governor that wasn't employed. He was hired because he was the last, or one of the last
Upscaling
chancellors
complete.
or something. Alright, so now that we have a planetary capital, we have a lot more jobs as a
A
result,
system has been surveyed.
which is good. Sorry, drill rampage. For my navy to go help out with this event, I'm going to need to move my scientists back up that way because I don't even have knowledge of that spot there. Let's see if these guys will trade comms. They do. They introduced me to a xenophobe that's certainly not going to like me. Yep, closed his borders to me. I will reciprocate. Actually, before I make more ships, let's make sure we have them upgraded to the levels we want them. We have slightly better armor. We have better drives. I'm going to increase the chance to hit. And then we can crank out 2 new destroyers. Our naval capacity went up from where was it?
Research actualized.
I forget what station added. Sabtrack added
Research
it?
actualized.
So at Sabtrack, I would put a naval logistics office, but actually I'm going to change my mind and put a... No, I'll put naval. No, I'm not going to put anything there. And the reason being is this area is where all the trade goes through, and I'm likely not going to turn that into a sort of trade hub. All right, so we also want to be able to utilize more rare resources, so I'll start the research on that. And now this construction ship can tap the exotic gases here. And as you can see, we're not making any rare resources at the moment. Whoa, what just happened? Let's enable that. We are in a food shortage scenario. Let me replace this one with agriculture. We'll just have this be a super breadbasket world. It'll just have to be that way. And I'm going to buy up a bunch of extra food. So our ships are traveling to this spot where the Ransoniers are. And I'm going to have to explore this system. And they're probably going to attack me the moment I enter there. Oh, another scientist dies of old age. What kind of science was he working on? Chemical plants. Okay. I don't really have a lot of good choice. Oh, there we go. I love when that works out. Putting Brilliant one in. Brilliant. Spark of Genius is the increased research speed, which is awesome. All right, so now we're making exotic gases per month.
Complete.
And I have a little bit of a fleet to smush because of the anomalies.
Evading competitive fleet.
So let's go smush a fleet with our fleet. Man, everyone is dying of old age. Who are you? Oh, you are this surveyor. You get to be replaced with this guy who's good at surveying. And then that guy was this scientist at Vrinn. You get replaced with I don't even have enough energy. Doesn't matter. Let's go and sell some of our minerals so I can hire a leader. A science leader. Alright. And send our construction ship somewhere productive. So here's the Ransomers. Being bullies. Alright, so I failed to save anyone, unfortunately, and that's going to affect us. I'm going to send my fleet home. Oh, and my scientist just got bullied out of Fanatic because of these amoeba hunters. As you can see, I've been ignoring these research agreement offers because I don't want one, if you're wondering. Shipyard. let's go ahead and change this fleet makeup to include 2 less corvettes and 1 more destroyer, and we'll send them back to get repaired up. I do want to get another scientist down there. Sabtrack actually has a scientist we can use, so I'll send him down. I want to research that science that I just busted up out of their ship. Now, when you kill amoebas, you get regenerative hull tissue science, which is pretty cool stuff. We are almost out of housing here. And I made one more ship that I didn't mean to. It's a corvette somewhere. Here it is. Let's get rid of that one.
Foreign market leaders request contact.
Alright, found the humans. And the multiplex just made a protectorate out of the humans. Well, that's too bad. Sorry, humans, you just got absorbed. That's what happens when you're small. So what happened there, if you're curious, is the humans here just entered the space age just a moment ago. And they realized that they were in the middle of a galactic empire, and they became a protectorate of that galactic empire. Which means that they are offered technology, but have to pay taxes, I guess? I don't know. Something akin to that. Now, one more thing I could look to do is to form more branch offices. So I could either open additional branch offices at previously with green here, and I think that's what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is let's go ahead and try to figure out. There might be a better way to do this, but try to figure out green's most populous planet. 9. So their capital is obviously the most populous. This place is the second most populous at 9, but it's a teeny little world that's never going to amount to much. I think that's where we're going to have to open our next branch office anyway. Unfortunately, the branch office only will really yield a teeny little bit of energy credits until they are much larger. They have to reach size 25 for me to even place objects there. That's what I get. Alright, well, I'm just about out of time. So we threw the first punch in a Cold War, and we sort of failed at stopping a rampaging drill and rescuing people from ransomers. So it has not been that successful of an episode. However, we did win our first war, so that part is good. If you have any questions for me or have any feedback for me, drop me a line, and I hope you tune in next time. Adios, everybody.